It's us. Everything's all screwed up tonight, even though we're here live. We've had some technical issues, which we'll get into, but we are here again, live on a Friday night, mostly, hopefully. I think we are anyway. We're not sure entirely. But tonight we're going to be catching up with Wrestlemania and the latest episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, and we're going to do it with our special guest tonight, Mark Mariano. Hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody. Oh, yeah. How's it going, guys? Doing good, man. Doing good.
We appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me here, man.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I apologize in advance for any technical glitches that we're going to have, because apparently we've had a few already.
I think by this point, yeah. Go ahead. I was going to say, by this point, I think in this world that we live in now, we're all used to technical glitches almost every day, so it's all good.
I know it sucks, doesn't it?
It does.
It's awful, but we'll get into that in a couple of seconds. As always, with us is our commentator corraller, Wayne. How are you today, sir?
Pretty good, sir. I'm waiting for a Slim Jim.
Oh, yeah. Dig it.
Oh, yeah. You're going to snap into one, because we are going to talk some WrestleMania stuff. But as Wayne and I were getting ready for the show today, my computer died. It literally died halfway through getting ready for the show. So we did a quick turnaround, and I'm broadcasting to you live from inside my iPad right now. So yeah, that's how it's working.
Wow.
And so we may have some technical glitches. I told Wayne already to take over just in case I disappear fully from here. Again, I appreciate you being here, even with the technical glitches. We were about I'd say maybe about 5 minutes from saying, I guess we're canceling for tonight before we got everything all up and running and working. See, I haven't even put the banner up. So there we go. Banners. There we go. Now we're all official, mostly, kind of, I think. Also, yes, there we go. Now we're all official. Hi, Mark Mariano. How are you?
Doing good, Franco. How are you?
Good. How's things been treating you? How you been? How's the family? How's work? How's everything else?
I guess there's all different answers for all those. Family's doing good.
We're looking for one answer for all of them.
Right. Okay. No, family's good. Work is stressful at times, but that's okay. And we're all just trying to do the best that we can. But it's fun creating. That's the one thing that we can still hold on to. So that's cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the whole reason behind this thing, and the only reason I'm doing this thing is just to catch up with people,
right?
Catch up with things, commiserate with Wayne about all things,
Yeah, I'm happy I didn't have to drink any ketchup though, because I know you're a little heavy on the ketchup. So, but I was like, yeah.
You did contact me and ask me if you were required to be drinking any ketchup on
Yes.
the show.
Yeah.
And I did say yes. So where is it?
Here it is.
I thought you were actually going to pull out a bottle of
I thought I was, right, Franco? I almost did. I should have.
Nice. So Mark works on some pretty awesome books. You can find everything at my pal Mark, at my pal Mark. You're at my pal Mark on Instagram and
and Facebook, yeah,
and Facebook, and you also have a website, marianobros.com.
Right,
correct. So you can find all of his stuff. You do what's your latest book out now?
So last year it was tough. It is a Far Out Firehouse is the name of the newest book. One that was created by my wife and my son. He was, I guess, 4 at the time when we started it, and then 5 when I finished it. So it's actually written by playing. So that was a lot of fun. It's all based on, we had just a play set of a firehouse that he got when he was 3. And so they would always have all these wacky adventures, and I would take note of all the silly things that would happen. And so what I did is I started writing down some of the ideas that, he was playing when he was playing by himself, when we were playing along with him. And then I started stringing them together and made it into an entire story. So it's a lot of fun, just a lot of silliness. And it was fun to create. But of course, it came out pretty much 2 weeks after, I guess, right before the lockdown. And so I just didn't promote it. I felt very awkward asking for people to buy it when people were losing their jobs. And so it's a fun book. And once the shows start up, I'll push that again. And then the other book we did, I don't know if I even have a copy over here, surprisingly. The other book we did is the complete opposite. It was called Mundane. And here it is. And that was a collection of comic strips. And it's just something my wife and I always wanted to do. We started thinking about doing a podcast about the most mundane moments, but we'd say that would be a really boring podcast. So I said, oh, you know what? We can make it into a boring comic. But it being boring actually is what makes it funny. And I shared out with a lot of my friends, and they enjoyed the mundaneness of it. So I was actually proud of this, and it was another fun book to create. And it's almost two sides of the spectrum. You got the silly, and then you just have the everyday boring stuff of life. So it was.
I was going to say that's an awesome selling point. This is the most boring book. You'll ever have.
Right. I mean, I have some great. I sent out to I think Franco. I think you have one on here, don't you, Franco?
I think you sent it to me. I love the book. I think I sent you a quote. I don't know if you used it, but I think I did.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's on here. It's just I got so many quotes, so people can all can read it. So it's good. Oh, there it is. Got the book sent to me today, and I read it. Franco, teacher.
that was my quote.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing.
I was trying to come up with the most mundane quote ever.
That's what I asked for. Yeah, so we wanted the most mundane quotes because that's what it's all about. It's just and you got to find humor in stuff that happens to you every day. And so a lot of people I shared it with was like, oh my gosh, this happens to me. This happened to me the other day. And it's just, these are little things that we take for granted. But, I guess that's the other part of it too, is like, you got to enjoy the little things. And same thing, the timing of this was very interesting too, because it's about them going to bookstores and eating in a diner. And so a lot of people, when I ran a few on like webtoons, and people like, oh man, I remember diners. But so it was a fun thing, a charming read about the quirks of everyday life. So it's
very
fun.
Cool. And both of those are available on your website.
On the website, you can get them on Amazon as well. They're available in Far Out Firehouse is available in paperback and hardback and in Kindle, and then Mundane is available in Kindle and paperback as well.
That's awesome, because you may be feeling bad about pushing your book, but I'm not. I'll push your book for you.
Well, thank you. I think I feel a little better now, so I think
I like both those books. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Wrestlemania, and we're gonna talk about Falcon Winter Soldier. But just to let everybody know that's watching, you may leave during the Falcon Winter Soldier because you're not all caught up. You're not caught. Right. You're not catching up fast enough.
I'm not catching up.
The rest of us,
right?
But you will eventually. And
yes,
just a note to everybody that we try and cover topics on here, but more often than not, we veer off topic a lot, and that's okay, because it's my show, and we can if I want to, and we usually do, because I never stay on topic anyway. So if anybody has any comments or questions out there, you can always throw them out. Wayne will read them out. We will answer them. Mark has also said that he will draw digital requests.
Yeah, man. Whatever you want.
Yeah. So if you want
Well,
to,
we do have a request.
Do we
already?
Yes.
Oh man.
A little kid from the Paco taco stand, Mr. Scoot McMahon, would like, this is Stone Cold Scoot Austin. Give me an oh yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy because that's who I'm actually drawing.
That's what I thought. I recognized the baldness.
Awesome. Yeah, Scoot. So this is coming your way, buddy. I'll DM you the digital art when it's done.
Very cool.
So that's how it works. You want something, I'll draw it while I'm here. And then I'll, if you're not friends with me already on Facebook, then become my friend, and then I'll DM it to you.
And I figured since I had my pal Mark on the show, I was going to draw the Amazing Spider-Man and his friends. So that's what I'm drawing today.
Very good.
So that's what I'm drawing. Yeah.
That's good.
So
one thing I started doing with I've been drawing everything on the iPad using Procreate, and the current project I'm working on is I'm working with my wife. She's a 6th grade teacher, and I'm doing a lot of stuff that's going to be used in the classroom. And one is called Anyone Can Create Comics. And so a lot of that is going to have the look of a sketchbook. And so I picked up, I have one of the brushes is a very crayon-like brush. And what I did is I actually opened up like a whole box, and I created a whole palette of just the crayon colors. And so that's what I'll be using anytime I'm doing the artwork. So just give you a little behind the scenes on how I work sometimes.
Awesome. And also, we're going to give a plug to you and your wife. She has a teacher site as well.
Yeah, Teachers Pay Teachers. So any of the educators tuning in or librarians, you can find her at Read Write Teach ELA. She's got a pretty big following on Instagram, and you can just look up that store on Teachers Pay Teachers. That's Read Write Teach ELA. Very
cool. And they can find a lot of your clip art and artwork and stuff like that because you're teaming up with
we just recently started putting up some of my stuff as well. So we're in the process of building a more digital presence for me on there as well. So it's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now that we've gotten all the pleasantries out of the way, WrestleMania, what do you think? What was your favorite match of this WrestleMania? Well, first of all, they had a live audience again.
Yes.
Kind of weird after a year. But,
right.
What did you think of all that? And then let's get into what your favorite match was. Now, Wayne, you didn't watch WrestleMania, but you did the catch up on the Raw.
On Raw,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't watched wrestling in like 10 years. I dropped out.
Gotcha. All right. It happens. People come and go. There was a little while when I dropped out as well. Maybe that was like mid 2000s. I wasn't too much into it. I'd watch every other pay-per-view. Now I just watch the pay-per-views. That's all I watch. I don't watch any of the weekly programming. Just once a month I'll catch the pay-per-view. For Mania, it was good to see it back in front of a live crowd. That was awesome. I think that definitely has been lacking from a lot of the shows because they feed off it. You know how it is, Franco, when we're in front of an audience, and as a musician too, I feed off an audience, or if we're drawing in front of a crowd, it's good to feed off their energy. So you can tell like the wrestlers really were happy to have that back. So I thought that was good. Now it's the past 2 years, they went up to 2 days. How do you feel about that, Franco, going to 2-day event?
Yeah, the 2 days is kind of weird, but I do like it spaced out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little bit more easier to watch than all in one, and it was an expanded card. It was longer than WrestleMania usually is, but they switched over to Peacock, and I didn't like that part as much because I came in a little bit late, and on the first night. Well, no, actually, the first night my son and I couldn't watch it because he was working. So I said, all right, we'll catch up with it on Sunday before. Because you started to text me. You started to text me.
I
I'm like, I
texted
haven't
you.
watched it yet. Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, man. Right.
So then, and then you said rain delay. So then I had a rain delay.
Right.
But then we watched it on Sunday, and then we had caught up with it an hour into Sunday night's program, and I'm like, oh, let's just go right into Sunday, and you can't rewind on Peacock if it's live. So,
right. Okay.
You know, you can only do that on the replay, and so like we were an hour and a half in, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch the whole thing. I don't want to have to go back and have something spoiled for me, you know. So then we wound up watching it the next day. So that's the one thing I don't like about Peacock, because on the network, on the WWE network, even if it was live, you can start it over again from the beginning. But apparently on Peacock you can't. So I didn't like that part.
All right. Yeah. Now, so you didn't watch Saturday before Sunday?
I did. I watched everything all together.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
I thought Saturday was
Saturday on Sunday, and then Sunday I watched on Monday, so I was all behind on everything.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I thought the best match was probably the main event on Saturday. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. I thought that was great. And then close second for me was Cesaro versus Rollins. I thought it was really a strong match. I just love Cesaro, and just seeing him finally
go over.
Get to where he should be for the past 10 years. He's always been great, so I thought that was good.
Yeah, I like those matches. The Bianca Belair match with that. I like Bianca a lot. I think she's like really bright and bubbly.
Right.
I got to tell you, even though I like her so much and I love her wrestling, I hate her entrance. I hate it. With the whole hair thing. But
that's the same thing I always say. And I love that Sasha Banks used that against her so much in that match, because the one thing I don't like about Bianca Belair is the long ponytail. I think it.
But man, she hit Sasha Banks with it and split her open. Did you see the her side? Holy cow! And you can hear it. It sounds like a whip.
So here I was going back and forth with myself. I was like, oh man, I can't stand that she has that, because she's constantly always having to hold on to it if she does like any kind of moves off the top rope. She always has to be aware of it so it doesn't get hung up in the other ropes. Right. But then in the end, she ends up using it to basically win. And I was like, but yeah, I think she doesn't need it. I think they rely on that too much for her. She's got so much power and she's got enough charisma that I don't think she needs that long ponytail.
So was Saturday night more like a SmackDown roster and Sunday was the Raw?
No,
I don't know the rosters well enough. It's pretty much mixed. Okay. But to me, it just felt like Saturday night was a stronger showing. I just thought it was a better flow. It seemed like every match was fantastic. And then Sunday, it seemed to not as powerful as Saturday's was.
I would agree with that as well. It was okay, and I don't know, I'm almost expecting something fun or some sort of surprise either at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and there hasn't seemed to be any, and I guess because of COVID,
right,
in the last few years, but I'm always looking forward to those surprises, and I'm always thoroughly disappointed when they don't happen.
It's true. So I finished my Austin and I dropped it to my screen. You think I'm able to share it to you guys if I tried screen sharing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try that. Share screen. I think I can choose what I can do.
Do you have any comments out there while that's happening, Wayne?
Well, before you share it, Scoot does love it, Mark.
Oh, cool. Thank you. All right, let's see if I can share this. Can I just make this be the full screen?
Oh, hold up. I can do it. Here we go. I think. Yes. Ah, I can't scroll down. Let's see. Maybe I can do it this way. No. Hold on. I can do it. Hold on. Things are happening. This is the technical difficulties. These are the technical difficulties that we're having now. Because I opened up something else. I opened up a dictionary. Hold on. Let me get rid of that.
Are you sure it's a dictionary?
I think so.
Nigerian prince needs your help.
Ooh. We did something else here. This is fun. Technical difficulties abound. Well, this is because I'm on my iPad and I can't get
yeah,
the screen
that's what I
large
figured. All right.
No, it's there. I just can't. I can't hit the button to share. So let's see if
Am
I
I
can
able
get
to
it.
switch it here? Let me see.
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the control center here, and I can't.
Gotcha.
I can't. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. No, that's not it. Technical difficulties. Yeah, too far down. I opened up the dictionary again. This is great. Let's see.
Gotta say, I like what's her name? Asaka?
There we go.
There we go.
Yay.
All right. Whoa, it's
Did
like
it.
infinity.
Yeah, look at that. See that?
Infinite
I knew I
Steve
could
Austin.
do it.
Nice. Cool. So there you go.
Did it. Yay! Technical
Good job,
difficulties.
Franco.
Have you seen the new commercial with Austin and Ice-T?
No.
The Tide
I don't think I
commercials.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Tide commercials to wash your clothes in cold water.
where they're making cold calls, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, it's funny. Any other requests coming in?
Oh yeah.
Nothing on the horizon that I'm going through all the different platforms we're kind of on,
Sure.
and I'm not seeing any requests just yet.
Fair enough.
But
Nobody
I was saying
our
earlier,
technical difficulties.
watching Raw on Monday, I really like is it Osaka, the female?
Asuka.
Asuka.
Yeah.
She reminds me of it was a old wrestler. Used to blow green smoke into people.
The Great Muda.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. He was good. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's really good as well. So that's.
I like
that's
the
the thing
kabuki mask too that they use.
Yeah.
How she changes that. I thought that was a good gimmick.
Yeah. Now, how about you, Franco? What was some of your favorite moments of the Mania?
I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan.
Yeah.
And I thought that match just like I don't know. I was okay with it, but I don't know. I thought it was just too overdone. Roman Reigns, I don't think he makes a very good bad guy or a good guy. And I like Roman Reigns, but I don't know if he fits anywhere, you know? Like,
right.
it's weird.
I like him as a bad guy. I think he does better in this role than any roles he doesn't like. I'm not tired of him in this role. As like in the past, I'd be like, oh, here he comes again. He's just gonna win. Now I don't know. I'm more comfortable with him being a bad guy than a good guy.
The
but
crowd
that's
just hates
funny.
him. Like he never got over at all in all the time I remember watching him.
Right. Yeah. It's true. I guess he never really did to get over. But he's like a McMahon guy. The McMahon just tries pushing on everybody, you know.
You won't like him.
Right.
Right. Well, I was going to say that they were booing him when he was a good guy too.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's what. Like he never got over at all.
Right. Right.
When I was watching, it's just like you could even put it's his cousin, isn't it? The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some kind of relative. I think
some
you're
kind of relative, and that still doesn't work.
Right. Right.
There was a while back when they were setting him up against John Cena, because I wanted to ask you about this, Mark, because I know we've talked about wrestling, but we haven't talked really in a while. But you remember a while back they put him up against Cena, and Cena and he were in the ring doing like a I guess what do you call it, a promo or like
right.
Whatever they call it when they talk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And man, Cena was just cutting him to ribbons verbally.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You remember that? And then they
right.
never did anything with that. And I'm like, oh man, like Cena's like, just ripping this guy to shreds. He's like, back and forth on the mic, and Roman's trying to say something, and Cena would just interrupt him and call him out on how bad he was and everything. And then they never did anything with that.
Right.
That's my biggest pet peeve with wrestling in general.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Franco. Yeah,
no,
that happens a lot.
I was just gonna say that's my biggest pet peeve in wrestling is when they kind of start introducing stuff like that. And I understand that it's live and guys get hurt and things change, but just as the storyteller in me, when they do that, I'm like, oh God, why do they do that? And then nothing happens, and then a week later you'll hear that one of the guys was like, no, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's that happens so much that they'll start a storyline and then they'll just drop it and just the people will just forget about it. They'll just move on, and then just recently, did you hear about all the cuts they did? They let
Jogo and Bo Dallas, right?
And it's funny because I was just like,
and the Iconics. I think both Iconics they let go, right?
Yeah, and I was even talking with my brother Chris about how well I thought Samoa Joe did in commentaries. Like, I like him as a commentator; he's awesome. And then here they go; they just let him go.
Well, hasn't he been out like with a concussion like forever?
Yeah. My brother, Chris was telling me that he got the concussion filming a commercial. I don't know what commercial it was, but he got a concussion doing a wrestling move for a commercial, and then I guess that was it.
Maybe he should have had a Snickers.
He should.
Instead.
He should have.
That's one of their sponsors, Wayne.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'm all off on my drawing. Again, Wayne. Again, this happens every time.
You're having issues?
Yeah, I don't like it.
What? You just don't like it?
Just Wayne's tired of it. He hears me complain about it every week.
Oh, no. Time for a swig.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
It could be a drinking game.
Oh, that's true. Like when everybody yells out Norm.
Oh, here's a request from my brother, Mark.
Yeah.
Can you draw the Undertaker?
Oh, sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a quick version of our buddy John Gallagher. He's got his new book series out, Cat Crusader, Max Meow.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if you've gotten to see any of it, Frank. Great book. My son and I love it. We're currently reading the second one, so I'll probably dress up and I'll send it out to him. But I'll put Max Meow on hold to work on The Undertaker.
Yeah, I want to pick those up, and I want to actually ask John to come on at some point too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'd be fun. Undertaker's one of the greats, I would say, of all time. He's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was just.
Yeah. Now, is he officially retired or not?
He's retired. They had a really good documentary series on the network. It was The Last Ride, Undertaker, Their Last Ride, and it maybe a 6-part series, and it followed his last couple of years. It was amazing that because Undertaker is one known in the business to always be in character. So for him to allow cameras to follow him around, it was people were very surprised by it, and it was a great series. And yeah, that match with AJ Styles was the last match, the Boneyard match from last year's Mania,
which I liked a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like that one. I hated the Cena versus Fiend or Wyatt one, because then they did like another movie match. Do you remember that one?
Loved that match? Yeah, you know who loved that? I disliked it. I'm on your side, maybe because we're older. My son loved that match.
Really?
He loved it. Yeah, he loved it. And there's people out there. If you read some of the stuff that's out there, like people either loved it or hated it. There's like no in between. Like you'll get people who are like, "Oh, that match was okay." Man. People either love that thing or they hate that thing.
Yeah, I was just done with it. I was like, all right, this is too long. It's too bizarre even for me. I was like, I'm done.
Well, I think anything involving Bray Wyatt and the Fiend is all like, it's all cerebral, and it's like sometimes really, really weird. And I know the character is supposed to be weird, but
yeah,
like that whole thing with Randy Orton, and then he was burned to a crisp, and then he came out.
Ridiculous.
He was all, and then he had the match, and then he left with Orton, and then he's fine. On Monday night, he was fine. No burn marks anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. That's why there's a nice connection between comics and wrestling. You'll see a lot of overlap because there's so much similarities to it. With good guys versus bad guys, and.
But is Bray now like he's like a Mr. Rogers character?
Yeah, so he's like split personality, where he's like a Mr. Rogers kind of character, but with demonic intentions, I guess.
Okay.
And then he'll turn into the Fiend, which.
All right.
Which
because they showed that on Raw.
Yeah.
Because I remember him with the lights, like he would walk down with the light.
Right. So that's when he was like Swamp Bray Wyatt. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then as a Fiend, he becomes almost like supernatural, but like unstoppable. So it's very, I don't know, it's very weird. It's like that. Yeah, I don't know. You have to just suspend disbelief when you're watching a Fiend match.
Yeah, it's very trippy, some of the storylines with him. And then, like, I thought they had a really good thing, because this is getting way into the weeds of things, but I love Alexa Bliss. She's like one of my favorite female wrestlers. And, she, and I shouldn't say female wrestler. She's just one of my favorite wrestlers, just in general. But they had a great storyline with her and Nikki. Is it Nikki?
Mm-hmm.
I forget. Yeah.
Nikki Cross,
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then Nikki was trying to, kind of trying to, get her out of that whole Bray Wyatt trance. And then Alexa turned on her, and then she just went away, and we haven't seen her since. And I love what Alexa's been doing. Right.
Yeah.
And I love what Alexa's been doing with the whole Bray Wyatt thing and all that other stuff. But then
she was the best part about their match on Mania.
Yeah.
She really was.
But then that whole black ooze thing was kind of cool, but then they didn't do anything with it.
They didn't?
No, that's how it ended. He got distracted, and then Randy Orton beat him, and then I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. That's the whole
I understand trying to get weird and trippy, but then they don't. They don't
They never-
finalize any of the storylines. It's
Right.
weird. They just kind of let them go.
You mean we should write for WWE, Franco?
So it's like Chris Claremont X-Men with the dangling storylines that'll last for decades.
There you
Yeah.
go. Exactly.
Ta-da!
Well, Christopher Marino
All
says that they need to put Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling on the network.
Yeah, they do. They do. That's my brother Chris. I agree. That was a great show. Did you guys like that show?
Didn't watch it.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit before in that time, like, you know, it's that gray area where I didn't really watch anything.
Really?
You know? Yeah,
Oh, all right.
that was during the time that I wasn't watching wrestling, really. You know?
Gotcha.
Well, I finally focused my camera because it was out of focus. All right, now we're rocking and rolling.
See, I'm going too
So what else did you like about
realistic
that?
with this.
Ooh, with the Undertaker, too realistic.
Yeah, I got to bring it back. Bring in some Mark cartoony, because I don't like the way I draw when I'm too realistic.
He'll haunt you in your dreams.
That's right.
What other matches were good?
Um,
Cesaro and Rollins, you mentioned, right?
yeah, that was awesome when he did that move where he didn't use his hands. He just had Rollins on his shoulders. He was spinning him around. It was amazing. I was like, oh, he just keeps getting better and better, this guy. I thought the opening bout was good. Lashley versus McIntyre. I thought that was a good bout to open it up with, you know, that in front of a live audience. It was good to see a championship match as a first match back for the crowd. So that was cool.
I know they had to do the whole Thunderdome thing.
Yeah.
But how did you feel about that in general? You think that was a good thing, or?
I guess it had to be done. I mean, it was.
Well, I know, yeah. Because I almost dropped out right at the beginning when they were doing it with just the wrestlers around the edges. But then when they did the Thunderdome, it kind of like, I'm like, all right, I'll stick around because at least it sounded like there was an audience there and it looked like they were kind of there.
Yeah.
Because it was happening.
Yeah, like I said, I just watched the pay-per-views, so it definitely helped when they added that crowd noise, because without it, it was very weird. You know, so that was good that they added that crowd noise to it.
Well, I know they add the crowd noise in hockey.
Oh, they do, right? Yeah. Yeah, you figure they have to now. Because it's at some points though, watching it felt like you were playing like a video game, because they had this
Right.
same, almost sounds like the same crowd from the old games.
I'm sure they were on the WWE network. We got it up here on one of our sports channels, but Stone Cold Steve Austin had like a talk show where he bring on wrestlers, and he had Taker on, and it was just like a natural conversation between two guys, and it was really great.
Right. Yeah, did I watch that one? I've heard good things.
The Broken Skull Sessions, and it's on the network. Yeah, it's on the network, so you can see all those. Yeah. I don't know if it's on. I assume that it's on the WWE network. So now everything from the WWE network is over on Peacock. So I assume that, you know, that's
they're slowly bringing over the entire library.
Yeah, I like that. I saw a couple of those.
I enjoyed like the 24 or the Chronicle.
He had Jericho on.
Yeah, that was a big surprise there.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho's,
yeah, but Yeah, Stone Cold had Jericho live. He had him on the Broken Skull session
Yeah.
recently, like, from over AEW. He still came
Right.
over and did that. So I thought that I was surprised that happened.
Yeah, that was a shock. Now, do you watch AEW as well?
Usually, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
And
they're
I'm
pretty
liking
good
that
too.
programming better, actually.
Yeah,
And NXT is just really phenomenal.
NXT is the best, I
So,
think, out of all of
I
them.
don't know if you're watching NXT, but NXT is really good.
Yeah,
Their storylines are compelling. The wrestlers are compelling, and
yeah, they got the good quality stuff over there. Because those wrestlers they're giving it their all. It just seems like I don't know. It's like to me, I think it's a better show. It's a better product.
Well, it's like the minors trying to get up to the majors.
Right, but now some of them rather stay there in NXT.
Yeah.
Like Finn Balor went back down, and I guess I don't know if it was him or WWE, but he ended up staying there for a while. Now I hope he doesn't go. And now a lot of times I'll see these guys, and I'm like, oh man, I hope they don't pull him up, because you have guys like Aleister Black. I don't know if you remember him, Franco. I don't know if Franco got frozen. But he was this really good in NXT, and then when they bring him up to WWE and like on Raw, they just bury him. They don't use him to his full potential.
Well, don't they do that a lot? Like they'll bring them up from NXT and then just bury them?
Yeah, that happens.
Because that was the complaint back when I was watching. Because they're going, this person should have a good little push,
right?
And then they just no.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's more the politics.
Well,
it could be.
I heard rumors that a while ago they wanted to bring up Adam Cole, and he refused to go up, or didn't want to go up, or something like that.
I could see that, because he's amazing there. What are they going to do with him on Raw? They're not going to do anything with him. He's awesome on NXT.
So
what
I
did you
thought
think
Daniel
of
Bryan,
The Miz and more?
I thought that was a shit.
Oh no, go ahead. That's The Miz and Maurice.
The Miz match was amazing. I think it shocked everybody. Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
what do you think, Franco?
Holy cow! What happened? What happened? Like, I was shocked when he pulled off some of those moves. Now, admittedly, a lot of that was John Morrison, because that guy is super athletic, and he pulled off a lot of that. He made Bad Bunny look really, really good, but Bad Bunny still had to do some of those moves and make him look believable.
I was very impressed.
Crazy. Yeah. I cut you off before, Wayne. I'm sorry. What were you?
Oh yeah, no. I was surprised. You guys were talking earlier that Daniel Bryan was wrestling. I thought he was like retired him because of his injury. It was neck injury, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that main event is all three guys pretty much, I guess Reigns didn't really retire, but they all had to step away from wrestling. And both Edge, I think it was about 10 years ago that he retired due to a neck injury. Daniel Bryan, I don't know, that was less than 10 years, I guess maybe 4 or 5 or 6 years ago. He announced his retirement. And then Roman Reigns was battling leukemia. And then here they are, the three of them end up main eventing. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It was it was
because you could see Edge on Vikings.
Right, yeah. I never watched it.
He was on another sci-fi show too, right? Haven or Warehouse or one of those or something like that. But yeah, he had to step away because he was gonna be injured, and I was shocked when he came back.
Yeah.
They kept that like a big secret until he showed up.
That was one weird thing is like they announced that he was going to be at the Rumble. So that could have been a surprise, like you were talking about before, Franco. How they really don't do like that could have been a huge surprise, but they announced that he was going to be part of the Rumble.
Right.
So I don't know.
And now I heard rumors too, and because I read some of the online stuff sometimes, but the match was supposed to be just Edge and Roman Reigns, and I think Vince was not happy with the way Edge was looking because he looked older.
Too old.
So, yeah, what's that about?
I don't know. That's Vince being Vince, man. But Daniel Bryan, I guess my brother was telling me he's known as the fixer. So if there's ever any kind of issue, just throw Daniel Bryan. It's going to fix it. Which rightfully so. I mean, that guy can work with anybody. He's amazing, you know?
Right. Yeah, I got the chance to meet him finally. I stalked him at a couple of different places where I didn't get to meet him. At Playfair, he was there, and I didn't get the chance to meet him years ago when we were there. And then in Philadelphia, at one of the Reed Pop shows, he was there, and I went over and I finally got to talk to him and meet him. But he was he had that big match against the Miz when the Miz was doing all that, because that rivalry actually turned into something that was real from what it looked like. Right?
That was pretty cool. That whole thing. That
those
whole
two did not like each other.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Miz ended up being Daniel Bryan's coach on the original run of NXT. You remember when NXT was almost like another kind of Tough Enough show?
Right.
So now there's one thing. What have you so you had the network since it started, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you watch Legends House?
No, that was one show I don't know. I couldn't really get into that one, I guess. But
oh man, I'm surprised. So Wayne, I don't know if you know Legends House.
Is Abdullah in that one?
I don't know if I can't remember all the guys. It was Piper.
Yeah.
Oh man, was Pat Patterson in it? I believe. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Okay.
Wasn't Jimmy Hart in there at one point?
Jimmy Hart. Man, Tony Atlas. Honky Tonk was not in it. Okay. Tony Atlas was in it.
Okay.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
Oh, so superstar Billy Graham.
No, but it was like almost like the Surreal Life. I don't know if you remember that show on VH1. And then they would just have these guys do different challenges. But I thought it was a great show, and I would love to see them do it again with like Scott Hall and some of the guys that have now gone into the Hall of Fame. I thought that'd be really cool to see that done again.
Now,
have you been watching Young Rock?
We watched. That's another one of the shows. We watched the first episode. First two. We've watched a few episodes. I liked it. But
it's really funny, actually.
Yeah, I'm behind on it though. But I enjoyed that
because the name of this show is called Catching Up. So you
catch up.
And I know that we're having technical difficulties and we're talking about wrestling, so I expect maybe like 2 people are maybe watching us right now. So that's funny. That's fine.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, but I like the Young Rock. You get to see. I like the interactions with the guys that I remember wrestling, where they're all just like one big family.
Yeah, that is cool to show. And you got like Andre in there, and Junkyard Dog showing up. So it's cool. All right, so here we go, Franco. I got there you go. If you want to share the screen.
I think I did it. Ooh, right on the first try I did it this time. There he is.
Well, my brother says
Undertaker.
it's a great Undertaker.
Awesome. Yeah, have him DM me, Mark Mariano, and I'm sure I'm tagged in any of Franco's posts, and I'll send it to him. I'll send him a digital copy. I don't know if I can get out of here.
So I missed a lot of The Rock when he was wrestling.
Oh.
I didn't watch a lot of him at all.
Really?
Yeah. When he was up and coming. Well, he was around for a while, but yeah, he's one of the guys that I never really watched because I was out of wrestling during that time.
That's like the biggest. What do you mean? That was like the biggest time for wrestling.
I know. But like, hey, man, I was, just like everybody's out at certain points. I was out during that point.
Amazing. Now, have you ever been to WrestleMania?
I've never been to a WrestleMania. I've been to a few wrestling shows, but I've always been up in the nosebleed seats, and I'm like, I'd rather watch this on TV. But I'm like that with all sporting events, unless I'm like right up close, like at a basketball game or a baseball game or something. A baseball game, maybe I could look at from far away because that's fun. But nah, like Super Bowl and all that stuff. Like I don't know that I would want to be there. I'd rather watch it on TV.
Gotcha.
No, my parents used to take me and my brothers to wrestling matches back in the day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, my mom would really get into it. She would
That's awesome.
She'd be yelling at the wrestlers. It was hilarious.
It's great. You gotta. Well, that's what it was like growing up. My grandfather was always into wrestling, and he still, believed it to be real, that the guys, I mean, so it was. He goes, I can't believe these guys do that to each other. They can't allow that. So that's always been a reason why I still stick with it, is to, because he always loved it, and one of my best friends growing up, he always loved it as well. So I'll probably always be watching it, I guess, unless it gets really unwatchable. But I think that's why I stick to just the pay-per-views, because that's where you get the best of the wrestlers performing, and I'm more about the actual performing than maybe some of the storylines. To me, they're just, I don't know. I don't need a heavy storyline. I just need a good match, I think.
And if you
I watch all of them,
I do recommend
mostly.
to go to a live event, Franco, if you can.
I've been to a few live events.
Oh, yeah.
I like it better on TV just because it's you can see all the. But I do watch. I watch Raw. Not all of them, but most of the time I'll put it on because I'm usually in the studio and it's easy to watch while I'm working, because mostly it's just listening. So if somebody cracks their head open, you can hear the audience or the announcers say something like, "Oh," and I'll look up because then they'll show the replay,
Right.
So it's easy to watch that way.
That's something we can discuss, is like, what are some things you do watch when you're creating, and what are you doing when you're creating? Is it that you're just inking and you're able to watch something else, or sketching at that time? Because I can't do it. I can't have a video going and me drawing, because then I'll just find myself, I'm not as productive as if I'm just focusing on drawing. I can listen to music or listen to a podcast, but I can't do anything visual. But I'm constantly seeing people like, oh yeah, I've been watching this show in the background. I can't watch in the background. What do you do?
Yeah, I was definitely like a latchkey kid, because I'd come home in the afternoon and there'd be a few hours sometimes when my mom or dad weren't home, because they'd always be working, and then they'd come pick me up and go to the restaurant or something like that. So but on school nights I was usually home, and I come home in the afternoon and get off the bus, have a snack, and turn the TV on, and I do my homework while the TV was on, and then during dinner, TV was on, and then after dinner, TV was on. So TV was just on all the time. Now, if it's something like, like a movie that I want to watch, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I can watch it on reruns, but I can't watch it, like on a first viewing, because I want to watch it, and I'll miss everything. But if it's like, I have stupid shows that I'll watch. Like, there's that medical drama like New Amsterdam, which is, it's a dumb show, but I watch it because it's easy to watch in the background type thing,
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I can see that. Like I've been recently been into watching on Hulu, the Great Food Truck Race. It's just a team of food people really run a food truck, and it's a competition, and they just travel around the states selling food, and the highest winner, the highest profit, they move on. And so that's like a show I guess I could watch in the background, but even still, sometimes I want to see what they're cooking,
So it's like The Amazing Race meets The Apprentice.
There you go. Right.
Oh, we do have a request for Mark.
Oh.
From Greg Schigel.
Schigel.
Yeah. Sorry. Since Franco's drawing Spidey and his amazing friends, I think Mark should draw Mrs. Lion.
Mrs.
Ms.
Who?
Lions.
Miss Lion,
dog.
sorry.
Firestar's dog. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely have to Google that one. But yeah.
Or you can just tell Greg.
Pekingese?
You can just tell Greg no. That's
No.
all.
I can't tell Greg no. Let me see. Let me just add.
But am I right? It was a Pekingese?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll definitely have to Google that one. It's not what was her name?
Miss Lion.
Miss Lions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ms. Lions. Lyons, I believe.
I'll look that up.
Now, here's an interactive question for the one person that may be watching, for Greg, maybe, or if others are watching. Usually I color things in marker and watercolors, and should I do this in crayons, or should I do this in markers, watercolors?
I think stick to the markers and watercolors. I'm used to seeing you draw in crayon whenever I'm seeing you at the conventions. So I've been liking seeing the different stuff that you've been posting recently. That's my suggestion.
I'm working on another large one that is taking me forever to do, because I do it in piecemeal between other things. And I've been so busy, I haven't gotten to anything. So really? All right, I'll do markers. Yeah, I'll do that.
It seems like you want to do crayons, so go for it.
Well, it's just I haven't done crayons on the show. I just done markers so far.
Do it, man. Crayon it up.
Okay. No.
Ooh, Greg suggests color each character with a different implement. Spidey in marker, Firestar in crayon, and Iceman in watercolor.
See, remember, Mark, what I told you before about what you say to Greg, and I'm gonna say no, Greg. I'm not doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. Yeah, if
always...
you're Googling Miss Lion, it's MSLION, and she's a Lhasa Apostle.
All right. I'm going to have to do that now then.
Yeah.
Let me...
Or you could just say no.
I'll add some color to Max Meow after this. That's what he's looking like so far.
Yeah, I'm going to go... Okay, well, here, let's refine it. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
So let's refine this a little more. Should I go crayons, or should I go colored pencils? Ooh. I think I might go crayons. think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do crayon.
Yeah, I think crayon would work.
I'm gonna have to pull out my big guns, which is my box of beautiful 96 box of crayons. 96 crayons in this colorful box.
It's too many for me.
Too many?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you use?
think-
Like just red?
I think I learned like if I have too many colors, I'm like, no, that's not right. No, that's not right. No, that's not right. Now, if I just break it down to like a box of 30 crayons or whatever it is, I'll be like, oh, all right, blue. Let's go with this one. I don't know. If I have too many choices in it, I get
You get confused?
confused. Like, oh man, it's not exact.
But you're
Okay.
coloring on an iPad that has an infinite amount of colors.
Right. So that's what I.
Yeah,
it's
but he only
interesting.
uses red.
Well, that's what I started doing is actually I come up with palettes. Like this is the palette. I don't know if you guys can see, but you probably can't see. But for the Far Out Firehouse, I only used 15 colors, and I just decided to do a limited palette because I don't know. I just felt to challenge myself. I never really did that before in a comic, and then also I did same thing with Mundane. I mean, that's mainly black and white and just a few color splashes.
I think to prove Mark's point at this juncture, I can't find red.
Yeah, see? Exactly. It's too many.
You cursed me here. I can't find red. There's too many in here to look at. I'm gonna have to go to my other box of crayons.
Yeah, 96 wasn't enough for you.
Okay, I got the red. There we go. Man, see that? You jinxed me there. You jinxed me out.
Proving the point, man. Proving the point.
I am. I'm going all crayon. Good crazy crayon. Crayon crazy. You know, color's real getting crayons all the time is Scoot. Hate that guy.
Oh, he does amazing work, man.
But wouldn't it be by now he'd have 5 drawings done?
I was just going to say, I don't want to bring up the fact that he'd have like 50 drawings done already. And this time it took me to draw this one. So, but thanks for bringing up those deep-rooted scars again, Wayne.
Well,
appreciate it.
that's what I'm here for.
All right, so I am drawing Miss Lion.
Don't forget the
All right,
bows.
so what was your? Yeah, she had the bows in her ears, her ear hairs. What is that? I don't know. It's a thing, I think. What was your favorite match at WrestleMania then?
Yeah, definitely the I guess I guess definitely the Sasha Banks one. That was good. That was the best one.
Now, let's talk about Charlotte Flair. How do you feel about Charlotte Flair?
I think she's great.
She's fantastic in the ring, isn't she?
I don't know. I guess has she been injured? What's that?
Well, she came back on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. I did see that. So I guess she's back in the mix. I know you cut out on me. I didn't hear that.
I was very surprised that she wasn't in WrestleMania, and then they cut a promo bringing her back on Monday Night Raw, and her whole shtick was they didn't put me in WrestleMania.
There you go. So now, do you think she's gonna surpass her father as far as titles? Because it seems like they don't let anyone go past that 16, right? It's 16 time or 15? I always forget.
I think he's 16.
Like Cena, I think tied it maybe, or he's one
Cut
under.
out there.
Oh, did you? So I guess the question was, do you think Charlotte Flair is going to surpass her father as a championships?
Oh, sorry, I cut out there, so I missed that whole thing. But I was going to say that they made a big promo of her not being in WrestleMania as her promo back.
Right. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So now, who's she going after? Which champion?
Rhea Ripley, I guess.
Okay. Which I gotta say, I wasn't that impressed with the
and they really made
performance.
a
I
big
don't know.
push for her last year.
Yeah,
Because
the same
She
thing.
was supposed to be there last year because of live, and then COVID hit, and then that all went away, and they had to switch gears real quick, and then they never did anything with her.
Right.
See, that's what I mean. Like they made this big push and then didn't do anything with her.
Yeah, that's what always happens.
But how do you feel about her just Charlotte being like center of attention all the time? But I think she's just so charismatic that you can't help it.
Right. And it's pretty much like her father. It's just that it's expected, you know?
Is it though? Because she's just good, you know. Like, and I know Becky Lynch was like really floundering,
Right.
you know, until she hit the man thing, which I thought was
Right.
amazing. That
Right.
whole thing. But she's just so charismatic to watch when she's in that persona, you know.
Yeah.
And I think just like Charlotte is just so good at talking. You know, for someone her size, the way she moves too.
Yeah. No, I'm totally sold on her. She's fantastic as well.
I'm amazed at the way some of these guys move too. Like, you know, like Braun
Keith Lee.
Strowman, man, he's a monster, that guy, and how he moves. We didn't even talk about the Shane match.
Yeah, I thought that was a good match. It was a fun match. They did the one thing where Strowman broke through the cage. I thought
Right.
that was interesting, just to pull Shane back through. So I thought that was, never saw that done before. That was cool.
Shane McMahon?
Yeah. And then not only that, he was in a steel cage match, Wayne, with Braun Strowman, one of the biggest guys they got right now.
Yeah.
And they had him up on the top of the steel cage. And Shane McMahon he's nuts, man.
He is.
He took a dive from the top of the steel cage into the ring. Nothing to break his fall. Unbelievable to watch. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a fun match.
Wow.
It was crazy to watch, though. But Shane McMahon is nuts. I've seen him take headers off the top of the cage on the tables. Man.
You remember him versus Kurt Angle at that the King of the Ring match, where Kurt Angle was trying to like suplex him through that glass?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the glass part of the stage? And it didn't work first two times, so he had to do it a third time, and he threw him right through it. It was, it's crazy. I don't know why these guys do some of this stuff. Oh, here's something I was watching recently. It's on Hulu, documentary. Do you remember? Did you watch it when David Arquette became the world champion in WCW?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so this is towards the end of WCW, and they put the belt on David Arquette, and it's considered like the worst thing to happen in wrestling to a lot of wrestling fans. So I among the wrestling fans thought, what are they doing? Why are they throwing it on him? So now turns out I never knew that he was a huge fan of wrestling. Like, I thought he was just riding the wave of, of the popularity of wrestling at the time. It turns out he was a huge fan of wrestling, grew up loving it. And he actually got back into wrestling. He worked with DDP. He went to Mexico, got trained. And there's a whole documentary called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. And it's about his journey back into the world of wrestling. and it's very good. I highly recommend it. It was a really good good watch.
Some of these guys are they're kind of like us. They're like really into this stuff. You know who was one of the writers on a wrestling? I think it might have been WWE. Who was a writer is Freddie Prinze Jr. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, all right.
Was a writer for WWE.
Yeah, and the one dude from Wonder Years was, what the heck was his name? Do you remember Wonder Years?
Mm-hmm.
And the brother Jason Harvey, he was big into wrestling.
Wasn't David Arquette promoting his film?
Yes.
During that at the time, and it was a wrestling film.
Right. You're right. Ready to Rumble.
That's it.
And he did not, at first he didn't want the belt, but I mean, come on. If someone tells you, hey, we're going to give you the championship belt, you're going to turn that down? You know? He's like, oh, all right. And then he totally played it off as like a heel, but then everyone really hated him and that hurt him, he said. So it was an interesting movie where it's him trying to prove himself as a professional wrestler.
Now, this is him trying to get back in recently, or
yeah. I mean, the movie just came out in 2019, and there's a death match that he's in, and it's just brutal. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I can't watch some of that. But overall, the movie itself was really good, really well done.
Have you been watching any of the AEW stuff at all?
Same thing, mostly the pay-per-views.
Because I think they have some really good matches. They had the Sting match,
right,
with Darby Allin, and that was like a cinema match in like an old warehouse, which I thought was really good.
And they like threw him off they threw somebody off like a I forgot what it was, off the what was that? It's some platform onto something. It was pretty cool. Let me see. I think I just where'd that go? Share it again.
Oh, we lost Franco.
There we go. Open. All right, so here for Mr. Greg Schiegel, I drew Miss Lyons.
I'm back.
Or Miss Lyon?
There we go. Did you Miss Lyon? Let's see. Sorry, I couldn't put it up because I left. I was so offended by your drawing that I left. There it is. That's Miss Lyons.
Yeah.
Now Greg has to pay for that.
That's right.
He has to pay money to get that. Oh man. All right, so since we're talking about wrestling, what's one of the matches, because being from the comics world, we have that one comic story or those one or two comic stories that always stay with us because it's our most favorite ones, or that's the one that got us into it, into comics and stuff like that. I'm going to go with that same question for you, Mark, with wrestling. What's one of the matches that kind of sticks out to you?
I guess
your all-time favorite.
I guess one that really stuck out to me from a young age would be Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I think it was probably from like a Starrcade, and I think it went an hour, and it was an amazing match. And because like when I was younger, I wasn't super into it as much as my older brothers were, and so I would just watch it here and there. But that match, I was glued to the TV. It was amazing. That was fantastic match. Another one I think would be classic would be, I guess Steamboat again, but Steamboat versus Randy Savage from WrestleMania. That was a classic bout as well. And then I guess one that definitely stuck with me was a lot of Shawn Michaels matches. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in the first Hell in a Cell. Undertaker versus Mankind and the classic Hell in a Cell that we all know.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's some of the ones that really stick with me. And then as for an event, I think the best event I saw was WrestleMania X7 with that was like the first TLC match between the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. I mean, that whole event was insane. It was Austin versus The Rock in the main event, so it was good. So, how about you?
Yeah, those right down the line, pretty much.
I'm sorry, I gave too many.
No, right down the line, pretty much. Yeah, those are. How do you feel about Edge going over to AEW now?
Oh, Christian?
1 minute, Franco. Can you turn up your mic?
No.
Okay.
It's all these technical difficulties we're having.
All right, no problem.
Is it that bad? I guess we
can. No. I just.
If we need to.
I think Christian. I think he's still got a few matches left in him. He's. I guess it's similar on how Edge is. But I always was a fan of Christian, and I think he does have another, maybe one last run in him. And it doesn't have to be maybe every event, but there's a lot of guys that he can work with over there, like Kenny Omega, or there's just a lot of talent over there, or Cody would be really good to see.
Yeah, he just had a match with Frankie Kazarian.
Oh, did he? Wow. Okay.
It was great. It was a good match.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of Christian, though.
Okay.
He just seemed like very Captain Blasé to me.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I liked him. I like him. I think he's good. As for recently, did you remember that one match? It was Dustin Rhodes versus Cody from AEW.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It was a crazy match. Yeah. Kenny Omega, man, the way he does those fast snap suplexes,
yeah,
it always looks like he's killing somebody. The way they land and how fast he does it, like he just shoots them right over his head. Like I can't even like imitate the move because I'll hurt myself, even in slow motion.
Right.
But man, the way he does it, it looks like he's like killing the guy every single time.
I don't know how they do that, man. I wonder
if that hurts more or not.
I don't know. It's gotta. You think?
There's some wrestling fan who's going to watch this exact episode on a replay and start yelling at his screen. He's going to start yelling the answer. But I can't hear it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Yeah. Heck, even Wayne can't hear me on my regular microphone. So how am I going to hear that guy?
Well, Greg does like your Miss Lion. He said it's A+. Name a worthy charity.
What, he's the name a worthy charity?
Yeah, that's what he said. A+, name a worthy charity.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I guess I'll have to get back to him. I guess, being that we're talking about wrestling, let's do Connor's Cure.
Yeah.
Connor's Cure. We can. There's a charity. It's that's the other good thing about WWE is they do a lot of charity work. They're always doing a lot of the granting a lot of wishes, and that's awesome. And they started a charity for children's cancer. So there you go, Connor's Cure. All right, I think I'll once I finish up Max here, I'll let you guys discuss your Winter Soldier and Falcon show. I enjoyed the first episode. I really did.
Good.
We just started watching some other things, and we also watched Invincible. Maybe 2 episodes behind on that.
Well, me too.
Just so much came. You too? Okay. I mean, I love it. That's probably my favorite superhero comic that I read in its entirety. You know, full all the way through. Yeah.
Well, I don't see you as an Invincible type guy.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
All the cartoon. I just think it's great storytelling. I think I love the character arcs and the way Kirkman writes. I'm a huge fan of his.
Wow.
Some other here we go. Some other ones that you might be surprised is I'm a big fan of Fear Agent. Did you ever read Fear Agent?
No, I know what it is, but I've never read it. Yeah, excellent
book. Big fan of that as well. But then again, also I'm a fan of Gru, which I'm sure you can see why I like that. So Gru.
That one I can definitely tell, you know.
Right. But yeah, Invincible, I thought was just, the whole story was well done, well thought out, and I just think it's great.
Now,
I'm excited to see it animated.
Did that end, or is it still going? That's not still going, is it?
The book? Yeah, the book's done.
The book's done, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it had a complete, full ending, so things were explained.
I never read it. I should.
It didn't feel like the end of Sopranos.
Wow.
Right. And it was amazing the way they ended it. Like, I think they went ahead a few years and they just explained, this is what happened to this person. This is what happened here. This is what happened. I was like, that's awesome. You know, and there's still places where you can fill in stories if anything ever happens, if you ever.
So they gave you closure.
Yeah.
Of the characters.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that. I thought it was awesome.
Mark, have you watched Hellstrom?
I'm gonna have to go back and get it all again.
No.
Because that's on, like I was telling Franco last week, that's in Canada. Our Disney Plus has Stars, and in Stars, that's where you get to see all the Marvel Hulu series, like Cloak and Dagger,
really?
Runaways,
wow,
and Hellstrom.
No, I haven't seen that one. I'm trying to think if there's any other. Have you guys seen this screenshots of the Powerpuff Girls? Have you heard about this?
No.
Oh, the live action one?
Yeah, so CW is doing
live action Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah, CW is doing a live action of the Powerpuff Girls grown up. So now they're in their 20s. And I don't know the full thing, but I guess they're going to tell more of their story, but with the live action. So I'll definitely watch the first episode just to see what it's all about. But it sounds interesting. It sounds off the wall and could be fun. So,
have you watched the first episode of Kung Fu?
No, I saw that. I saw that. I mean, I enjoyed the original when I was younger. I remember watching a few episodes. So, was it any good? Did you see it, Wayne?
Yes. It's nothing like the original.
Okay.
It's more like a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Really?
More of a fantasy element with it.
Oh, all right.
That amazing. The martial arts is really good, but it's almost like you could have, instead of having the title Kung Fu, they could have come up with a totally different title.
That's what I was just going to say.
And it would have worked.
Come up with a completely different title
because there's nothing really. So she went to a Shaolin temple. A lot of people. There's lots of movies dealing with Shaolin temples.
Right.
Right.
So no, they could have done. They could have called it "Search for the Magical Sword,"
right,
or something like that, and it would have been a better title than calling it Kung Fu and hoping that you're going to get people like myself that remember watching it back in the 70s, going, "Hey!"
Right.
Or
because I was thinking, I mean, is that a property that? I guess I'm sure it does have a huge following, but is it a property that would find you know, that the same following would now watch it on the CW. I don't know, it's interesting when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's a weird reboot.
My dad is a huge fan of the old one. He would watch it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he asked me about it. He goes, how do I get to see this new one? Because he had seen a commercial for it somewhere. So he wanted to watch it. So it was interesting because you pulled in that audience, but I don't know that, you know, anybody else really is going to know that that's what that is. I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're only going to really get an older audience, and no one really remembers the sequel that Carantine did with him and his, I think it was his grandson, who was a police officer.
Gosh, I don't even remember that there was.
Oh yeah, there was.
Wow, you know, I don't remember that either.
Wasn't that good?
Wow.
Well, the one reboot that I did like was the Lost in Space.
Yes.
I was a huge fan of that show. I would always watch it on USA, like when I was.
The one on Netflix, Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. So it was. Do you remember the original show with the robot Danger, Will Robinson?
Yeah,
Danger.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And with Dr. Smith. I mean, that was a show I used to love growing up.
Parker Posey was the new Dr. Smith, right?
Yeah, I thought it's really well done. I think there's one more season that they're gonna close everything out in. And
oh wow, really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that both seasons. I thought were great.
Yeah, I love Parker as Dr. Smith. She's she captures your attention.
I think as far as reboots go, the best reboot of all time, I would have to say, for me, would be Battlestar Galactica.
Okay. I heard good things about that. I never watched any of them, but I heard really good things about that.
You know, I loved that show. Loved that show. It was just so good.
Like, my wife was never into science fiction or comics or anything that I was interested in, but I got her hooked on Galactica because it's a story. It is a really good story, just sort of set with these sci-fi elements, just sort of like The Expanse is like that too.
Oh yeah,
I heard good things about that show.
Yeah. Well, see, now I'm gonna have to try and watch The Expanse.
I know that's the whole thing. There's so many good shows to watch out there. Like, I was watching Killing Eve. Have you guys seen that one?
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't seen
and
that.
I was enjoying that, but like, then what happens is my Wi-Fi is horrible at work, and I can't download the episodes on Hulu. It's not available for that. But so then now I end up finding something else. Another great show is, have you guys ever seen, I don't know if you're into anime, but One Punch Man?
Yes, I saw the first season of that.
Yeah. So same thing. I love the first season on Netflix. Then I found the second season's on Hulu again. And then, so now again, that's something else I'll be watching it. So there's just so much to watch. And in between all that, you still have to create, you know?
Well, that's just the thing, you know, and I brought it up on here before, but as a creator, you know, when we're working on all this other stuff, people ask me, like, because I'll watch shows that are easy to watch, like I said before. But if there's a show like that I want to watch or have to pay attention to, I won't watch it because I'm usually drawing.
Right.
So, like, you know, people say, "Oh, have you seen this or that?" And I was telling Wayne and everybody else on here, the reason for this show is to make me watch stuff because I haven't been watching it. So, like, I'll watch Falcon Winter. So that I would have watched anyway. But like Invincible, I would have waited to watch that, but now I'm watching it because, you know, every once in a while we'll talk about it on here or something like that. You know, like Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong. I wouldn't have watched, but, you know, because it was out and everybody's talking about it here. Like this weekend, I want to try and watch that movie Nobody. Bob Odenkirk
Bryan Cranston.
Because that's being released on digital demand this weekend, so I want to maybe try and watch it. Because I've heard such good things.
And I love. Did you watch Better Call Saul?
Yeah. I don't know that we'll talk about it on here next week, but eventually we'll talk about it. You know, but you know, it's one of those things that I'll watch, though. You know.
Absolutely. All right, so here's my final art for our session today. Max Meow, a fun book by John Gallagher.
Nice. Like it.
You know what? It's still maintaining the theme of tonight. That could be a lucha wrestler.
There you go.
Absolutely, man. Well, thanks so much because
Yeah.
for coming on. I know you didn't watch Falcon Winter Soldier. You're more than welcome to stay, but I know I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, no, I'll let you guys talk it, and then I definitely do want to watch it. It's not something that I'm gonna that I'm meaning to miss. I'm definitely do want to see it. So, but thanks for having me on. And go ahead.
Yeah, I had to change my little name tag down below because I had a spoiler.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Wayne.
I heard you didn't see it. I said, "Oh no, gotta change this."
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm surprised nothing has been spoiled yet. One of the things, like with Disney Plus, I never saw anything spoiled as much as the first episode of Mandalorian, and I'm so happy I watched it when I did, because the next day, just every feed was just full of Baby Yoda, and it was just. So I'm happy I haven't seen too much of that with Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
The last episode of season 2 of Mandalorian, with the return of Luke.
Right. So we're in a crazy time now where there's so much good TV to watch and so much stuff to inspire us to create the stuff that we love creating.
My computer died again.
So Franco, hope you get I hope you get a new computer. I'm looking forward to seeing what you get and what you create with it.
This isn't going to last very long because it's just not working out. Let's see here. Hello. There we go. Ooh. Better. Hello. Okay. Much better. But now I have an echo.
You got an echo going on.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, it was really good meeting you. Again,
here,
sorry. Yeah, I'm an old time wrestler fan going back. I think one of the things I remember, I think it was the last live wrestling I went with my brother and his 2 sons, and his oldest son could not stand it because the person behind him kept on yelling.
Oh, yeah.
And we said, well, no, that's part of the crowd. Is the crowd just goes wild over this,
right?
And go, oh, no, Uncle Wayne, it's just too much. It's just too loud. And going, oh, you wouldn't have liked it if you went with your grandmother. Your grandmother would have just been screaming just like the person behind you.
Right. And that's part of the fun of it, It's the audience that definitely.
It's a very interactive event.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the modern day version of Gladiators.
Exactly. And I would even say Greek mythology at some point. So it's and just live action comics, I think we come back to that again. But it's fun. It's a fun thing. Slowly getting my son into it. We watch a few shows here and there, a few matches here and there. But
it's going to be interesting with my family to see if my nephew gets my great nephews involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Into the whole wrestling thing, like with my parents and myself and my brothers. See if it carries down the generation. Well, I know I'm doing my part with comics.
Right.
Because it was my dad.
Good.
My dad was the one that read comics.
You're back, Franco?
I think so. I don't know.
All right.
I feel like limbo. I have to buy a new computer, which I'm dreading. But Mark, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I know you're gonna take off. You can get all of Mark's stuff at Mariano Bros. BROS.com. Just follow the scroll at the bottom, and you can follow him on social media at my pal Mark. Thank you so much. And
thank you, and thank you so much, Wayne. And like you said, it's up to us to get the young ones into reading comics and to share what we love, and that's how we do it. So, thank you so much, guys.
Cool. Thank
Have
you. Sorry
fun.
about all the technical glitches and stuff.
That's all right. That's what
All right, man.
we're all used to now. Take care. Bye.
See you later. Oh man. All right, Wayne.
Yes, sir.
This is awful. I apologize to everyone out there for all of this. Just horrible.
Well, your computer caught COVID because it didn't have the vaccine shot yet.
So
Probably got a nasty bug.
I think I may have lost you though again.
No, you're still here.
Oh, good.
I can see and hear you.
Oh, there you go. So, Falcon Winter Soldier, dude.
Yeah.
What you think? It was a slower
I liked
episode.
it.
Spoilers, by the way, to everybody out there.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But
Yeah, definitely a slower episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
But a good
it's
one.
going to be like, I'm not too sure how long the last episode's going to be, but they got a lot of story to try to finish in one episode.
Do they? Though?
Well, yeah, because there has to be more than just the big confrontation in New York.
Uh-huh.
And I think if I caught a glimpse of Sam's costume, it should be the one when he was Cap.
That's what I guessed. I
Yeah.
would assume that that's what they're going to do because you know, my son, when we were watching it, my son said, "Oh, what's in there? Like another set of wings?" And I'm like, if I were writing this, I'd make it a new Captain America costume, but the Falcon costume.
Yeah, the Falcon costume.
Yep.
And that's what I think it is. It's the Falcon costume.
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
I like that that they're working through some of their issues, but I'm thinking, how are they going to get to everything? How long is that last issue supposed to be? Last issue. Listen to me. The episode. How long is that last episode supposed to be?
I'm not sure. I'll check to see if there's an answer. But yeah, no, there's, because you don't only have that, you have John Walker going right off the deep end, creating
Right.
his own shield.
Mm-hmm.
Does he wear the U.S. agent costume?
Mm. And what's Baroness von Strucker lady?
Valentina
Feinstein.
Allegra de Fontaine.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling me she's Nick Fury's lady.
That's correct. Yeah, because Jim Steranko created her.
Jim Steranko created someone called the Baroness von Contessa.
No. He created La Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine.
La Contessa Elaine from Seinfeld, whatever her name. Were you surprised that she showed up here?
Oh God, yes.
Right? Like
Well, when she walked down, it's just when she sat down, or like when you sort of caught the glimpse of her hair, and I saw that, and if I'm right, she had a blue streak in her hair. I'm going, oh my God, could that be her? I was thinking, if she has a blue streak, it's like the Contessa. I'm going, nah, they wouldn't do that.
And they did.
And they did.
I lost you there for a second. I apologize again. Yeah, it was crazy, but there was no mention of her being in this, right?
Not that I'm aware of. So yeah, no, that was pretty freaky to see her there. And then the other thing is, I'm trying to think. The card that she gave was black and white, and nothing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, when I saw black and white, the first thing I thought was DC's Checkmate series, where you had the White King and the Black King. And I know that's not right.
But she's not going to be involved with. She's on the wrong side of. She's from the wrong side of town. Am I incorrect in that assumption?
I believe you're correct based on the way that she's approached them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know. Okay, not that we know. She's not going to be the Contessa that we know from the comic books.
Right.
So she's going to be whatever they want to make her to be. But it sounds like she might be like hooked up with the power brokers,
Right.
which would be interesting. And because we saw a little bit too with Sharon Carter,
Mm-hmm.
that she's not as nice as we thought she was, because she
Right.
sent Bat Rock after Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see how they wrap that part of her storyline, because he just wants to kill them.
Yeah.
No, it'll. But the only thing with the Contessa, I think they should have. Well, if they follow it like in the comic books, the character was Italian, and I think if they had a European actress, my favorite would have been Ava Green as the Contessa.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm thinking they have a lot to wrap up in those in that last those last few few hours. I'm thinking like they're doing a whole movie, but they're not.
Oh, did you catch the mid-credit scene?
No.
The mid-credit scene is John Walker creating the Shield.
I did miss it. I asked my son if there was anything, and he said no. So now I got to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, I missed something. You were supposed to yell out spoilers first, Wayne.
Spoiler.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Oh, you did. You yelled out spoilers earlier.
Yeah, but I didn't.
So that was like a general blanket spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be for me though. I was doing it for Mark mostly, but I didn't know it was going to be me. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's right off the deep end.
I like it though.
Yes.
People hate that guy.
What did you think of Sam? Oh, okay. The Winter Soldier, Bucky.
Yeah.
Everything up to this TV series, he is an amazing assassin agent. Nobody can really stand toe to toe with him. He's so good. Yet in this series, is it because he's not the programmable robot anymore, that he's a little more hesitant when he's fighting, because he doesn't seem to have the same skills and ability that he did in the movies.
Yeah, he's wrestling with a whole bunch of issues. Like Sam told him, you gotta help the people, not just, well, like you said, you're not making amends, you're avenging. And that's his issue. He's got a lot of stuff to deal with. He picked up the shield, he put it down at Sam's feet after they beat Walker. He's dealing with lots of stuff. So I could see why he's not as good as he used to be, or not as good as the assassin is, because he's not the assassin anymore. So
no, that's true.
That. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I like when Sam told him, he goes, you did that with your real arm. Why didn't you use the bionic arm? And I liked his answer. He goes, it's not always my first thought. I'm right-handed, So I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't know how they're going to wrap it up.
Right.
Were you okay with Zemo being trotted off to the raft by the Wakandans?
Yeah, the raft, right? That one kind of threw me for a loop too, but yeah, because he'll be back. I think I liked him. You're not supposed to like the bad guys, but I like this guy.
And I liked when Bucky pulled the gun on him and pulled the trigger.
Yep.
But showed him that he's not the killing machine that he was when he dropped the bullets.
Yeah. And he gave him over to the Wakandans.
Yes.
So he asked for one more favor, and that was a suit for.
That's right.
For Sam.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the last episode is going to be anything longer, probably 55 minutes.
So, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how they'd wrap up this whole thing. I don't know. I'm digging the series a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like you said, I don't know what's going to happen, and that's really the fun part here. You know? Like there's, I don't know. I'm digging it. That's the fun part is I don't know what's happening.
Well, we got the little Rocky montage with Sam learning how to fling the shield.
Yep. But how come the Wakandans are so good at everything? They make bionic arms. They make costumes. They can fight and kick anybody's ass.
Oh yeah, and you could be a super soldier and it doesn't make a difference.
Right?
Yeah, no, you don't want to mess with the Wakandans.
Yeah, and I do like Walker's character, even though he's off kilter. Mm-hmm. He's like, I am Captain America, and he goes, not anymore, you're not.
And he said, you guys made me. You made me into this killing machine.
Right. But Baroness von Strucker von Furstenberg, she knew he took the formula. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody could tell who fought him or was there, but or maybe just from the video. But I don't think anybody in the Senate room knew that he did.
Yeah, I don't think he actually disclosed the fact that he took it to anyone. So, no. And I like the fact that the government's dirty little secret is who really owns the shield? We're not sure.
Right. She said that's a bit of a gray area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
Stark made it.
Howard made it, but he got the material from the Wakandans.
That's right.
And the shield is, well, if it's following the shield should be a composite of adamantium and vibranium.
Yep.
So, we'll see.
Man.
But I can't wait to see what the costume that Sam's going to wear.
Yeah, that's going to be the big reveal because that's going to happen like right away. In the first scene that he shows up in, it's gotta, right?
Yeah.
Get right into the swing of the action here. They don't have a lot of time to waste next week.
No,
I usually watch it.
You got to resolve the terrorists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Terrorist threat.
I usually watch it right before we come on because of my time schedule during the day. So I've been able to avoid spoilers, but I'm wondering what's going to happen like next week and if people are going to spoil stuff and go, because things are going to happen or something, you know?
And they're probably going to do a mid credit and an end credit, like they did with WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, maybe we'll see Chris Evans.
Nah, not gonna. He's gone.
Oh, he's old man Chris Evans.
People watching. Or nobody. At this point, maybe nobody. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the story was nice. You had the bonding scene between the two guys that couldn't get along,
Mm-hmm.
helping repair the boat. Sam getting ready to assume the mantle of Captain America.
Yeah,
I
he's
like the
got it.
fact that they used the like the training mats to put on the tree so that the shield would bounce back.
Yeah, because that first scene it embedded in there.
Mm-hmm. But he did the same thing at the pier. He threw the shield out and it came back, and it hit something wooden.
Right.
So I think he's getting the idea of how to sling it, so it just doesn't stick into anything.
Mm-hmm.
Another unexplained physics item: Captain America's shield and how it can do the things that it can do.
Someone gonna put a YouTube video up eventually. You
Sometime.
can watch it.
Well, just like a lightsaber should not exist in science. Light
Right.
does not stop at a certain point. It continues on.
Well, it does. It does with a lightsaber. Come on.
Exactly. I know that's. And I think some guy tried to build a lightsaber.
Did he burn his face off?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Have to check the Mythbusters to see.
Funny stuff.
Oh yeah, because the last episode, here's what you're going to have. You're going to have the power brokers are after the terrorists. You have Walker that's after the terrorists and Sam and Bucky. You have Sharon who's playing everybody. It'd be interesting if she's the power broker at the end of the day. She became the power broker of Mandapore. But it's I don't know. Again, like I said, I do not know how they're going to resolve this. They don't have enough time unless it's all fighty. It'll become like a battle royale, a lumberjack match. And was it the same actor that was the senator that Walker was talking to at the Senate hearing? Was it the same guy that was at the GRC meeting?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I thought. I'm just going, okay.
Yeah, because the GRC has their little mole guy from the park
Mm-hmm.
in there. So all those guys are dead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Like it's going to be like there's not a lot in this episode to sort of lead you to the next, other
Yeah, it
than
was
you know
kind of
it's
like we said, slow episode.
just a slow episode. Just sort of, it was more of a building the buddy part between Sam and Bucky.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff. You know, we're just gonna have to wait. I think next week we're gonna have a special guest on and really talk about the ending of this. So we'll see. That is, if we can work out these technical glitches. But we'll see.
Oh,
yeah.
they'll be taken care of.
Well, let's see. Blah, 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 blah.
But you're not aware of any organization in the Marvel universe that uses black and white?
No, I'm not.
Cool.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. Didn't mean to do that either.
There we go. Now we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it for now. Thank
Mhm.
you for sticking with us, even though we screwed up royally with our technical stuff. And we'll come back next week and definitely talk everything. I'm gonna have to go watch that mid-credit scene,
Mhm.
and then definitely gonna have to talk about everything Falcon Winter Soldier next week.
Oh yeah. And then we have a break until Loki.
How long for that?
I thought Loki was June.
Isn't like something Star Wars coming in a couple of weeks, like the Bad Batch or something like that? Possibly. Who knows? Anyway, as always, thank you. Thank you for doing all of that. Thank you for being here. We'll see if we can actually get out of here this time. What do you think? We'll try it. Thanks, everybody. Later.